Carlos Alcaraz is sitting at number 1. Jannik Sinner is right behind him at number 2. And Novak Djokovic, he's all the way down at number 4. Just hearing that feels strange. For almost 2 decades, men's tennis revolved around Novak, Federer, Nadal. Now, we're staring at a new era, whether we're ready for it or not. But here's the thing. This top 10 isn't just a ranking sheet. It's a battlefield of hype, consistency, disappointment, and legacy. Some of these names deserve every single point. Others? Honestly, you could argue they're only here because the ATP system rewards showing up more than it rewards scaring opponents. So let's go through this list. We'll talk about who deserves it, who doesn't, and why some of these spots might not tell the full truth. And don't worry, I'll say things that you'll disagree with. That's the point. Let's start from the bottom, because trust me, the first names already tell a big story. Number 10, Karen Khachanov. Here's my question. Does anyone actually fear playing Khachanov in 2025? Yes, he's solid, he's strong, he's dependable, but when you think top 10 player, is he the guy you picture? I'd argue no. He's good enough to beat guys ranked below him, but he's rarely taking down the big names when it really matters. For me, this is a ranking points top 10, not a scary opponent top 10. Number 9, Lorenzo Musetti. This one might sting Italian fans. Look, Musetti is one of the most stylish players on tour. His one-handed backhand is pure art. He plays tennis that makes people fall in love with the sport, but style points don't win slams. At number 9, the expectation is, can you go deep at majors? Can you upset top guys? And the truth is, Musetti hasn't shown that consistently. He's good, he's watchable, but is he really the 9th best player in the world? That's debatable. And that's exactly how we're starting this countdown. Already you can feel the cracks. Now, before we climb higher, let's talk about how the ATP rankings really work. They don't reward one huge win, they reward consistency over time. You can play smaller tournaments, collect points, and stay steady, even if you're not winning majors. That's why guys like Karen Khachanov and Lorenzo Musetti can hang inside the top 10. Which brings me to number 8, Alex de Minaur. De Minaur is the ultimate definition of consistency. You know exactly what you're getting. Speed, grit, defense, and a willingness to grind. He doesn't tank matches, he rarely goes out early in smaller events. But here's the honest truth. When the big names side de Minaur in their draw, are they panicking? Number. They respect him. They know they'll have to work, but he's not keeping anyone awake at night. That's the trade-off of the ranking system. You can be a rock-solid top 10 guy without ever feeling like a slam contender. And that's fine. De Minaur deserves credit for maximizing his talent. But you can see already how the ATP rankings can inflate certain players into positions that don't quite match their intimidation factor. So far, the list has been steady, logical, even calm, but let's be real, the next names are where the adrenaline spikes, because now we hit the new wave generation. Number 7, Jack Draper. Jack Draper is one of those names that splits tennis fans right down the middle. Some people see him as the next great British hope, a legit top 10 force who can break open rallies with his lefty game. Others say he's overrated, propped up by hype and a weak era. At number 7, Draper is officially in the spotlight. But the question is, has he truly earned it? Or is this just another case of young guy gets hot for a year and shoots up the rankings? And right above him, this is where it gets really fun. Number 6, Ben Shelton. If Draper is a debate, Shelton is a full-blown controversy. Big serve, big personality, big social media presence. He's electric. But is he really the 6th best player in the world right now? Honestly, I'm not sold. He's had huge moments. Semifinal runs, giant killer vibes. But does he have the consistency, the tactical depth to truly anchor himself in the top 6? Right now, Shelton feels like a showstopper, but not necessarily a season-long force, and this is where you see the new generation divide. Draper and Shelton are both fun, they're both marketable, but are they slam favorites, or are they just exciting storylines until the real elite take over? Now, buckle up, because this is where the list takes a dramatic turn. Number 5, Taylor Fritz. Finally, an American sitting in the top 5. And listen, Fritz deserves credit. He's carried the flag through an era where US men's tennis had 0 slam threats. But here's the question nobody wants to ask. Is Fritz a top 5 talent or just the most consistent American? Because when you stack him up against the guys above him, do you see Fritz taking out Sinner, Alcaraz, or even a fading Djokovic at a slam? Maybe once, on a perfect day. But week after week, that's a tougher sell. Then comes the stunner. Number 4, Novak Djokovic. Read that again. Novak Djokovic, the man who dominated the sport for nearly 20 years, is now sitting at number 4. At 38 years old, this is uncharted territory. On one hand, it feels wrong. Novak at 4 just looks weird. On the other hand, maybe this is exactly what we should expect. Father Time always wins. Djokovic can still produce brilliance, but the question is, are we looking at his graceful fade out, or is this just another setup for one last insane comeback? That's the beauty of Djokovic. Even at number 4, you can never count him out. Now we're entering the fire zone, the top 3. Number 3, Alexander Zverev. This one is divisive. Zverev has fought back from injuries, rebuilt his game, and now at 28 years old, he's sitting comfortably at number 3. But here's the problem, respect. Fans don't respect Zverev the same way they respected Nadal, Federer, Djokovic. Some of it is due to controversies off the court. Some of it is because he's come up short in slam finals. And that's the debate. Does Zverev truly deserve to be the 3rd best player in the world, or is this another example of rankings that don't match the feeling in the tennis community? Number 2, Jannik Sinner. At 24 years old, Jannik Sinner has already proven himself as a Grand Slam champion, a rival to Alcaraz, and the new face of Italian tennis. But here's the narrative. Is he the leader of the new generation, or is he still second fiddle to Alcaraz? Because when they face each other, the stats don't lie. Sinner is close, but Alcaraz has the aura, the flair, the big moment edge. Sinner's at number 2, and he deserves it. But does he inspire fear like a true number 1? Not yet. And that brings us to the king of the list. Number 1, Carlos Alcaraz. At 22 years old, this guy has already racked up 6 Grand Slam titles. Let that sink in. At this age, Nadal had 4, Djokovic had 1, Federer had 0. Alcaraz isn't just leading the rankings, he's rewriting what's possible. He's already proven himself on hard courts, grass, and clay. He's beaten Djokovic in finals, he's beaten Sinner in finals. He's not just holding the number 1 spot, he's making it look inevitable. The only question is, will he stay healthy enough, hungry enough to keep pushing? Because right now, Carlos Alcaraz isn't just number 1. He's starting to feel like destiny. So that's your ATP top 10 in 2025. Carlos Alcaraz at the top, Jannik Sinner close behind, Djokovic finally slipping, Zverev sparking debate, and new names like Shelton and Draper trying to prove they belong. But here's my challenge to you. Do these rankings really tell the story of who the best players are? Or are they just numbers on a sheet? Because tennis isn't just about points. It's about aura. It's about who you don't want to face when everything's on the line. So let me throw it back to you. Who in this top 10 is overrated? Who's underrated? And who's going to shock the world in 2026? Drop your take in the comments and don't hold back. This debate is just getting started.